Hello, universe, and welcome to another edition of Live from the Catskills with United We Own. Today I'm without my better half, my most wonderful partner in all things. Jenny Jared is venturing off, doing wonderful mother things. So I'll be manning the fort alone today, but it's wonderful to be doing this, and we're just waiting for our friends, Leah, Hartofelis, and Manny, and here they come. Well, they should be coming. Boom. We're waiting. I'm told by my wife I'm like 85 years old. Hey! Hi, how you doing?
Hey,
So
Matt.
good. Hello, Matt.
Good to see you. How are things?
Great.
Pretty
I loved your
good.
intro that your amazing wife is out doing mother parent things.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the age of responsibility. And
Oh, it's so
she's
good.
in the thick of it today. How are you?
There's always things coming up, but it's just all about how we deal with them.
I feel that,
That's
thank
it.
God we could breathe. That we know how to breathe through that.
That's it. Yeah, no, you never know, right? As you go live, my dog pretty much has been silently sleeping all day, decides she's going to defend the house from I believe a butterfly.
Oh,
Not 100%
better
sure.
look out.
But thank God. She fulfills her dharma and then some, I tell you. I learned that from these animals out here every day. I didn't ever understand what dharma was, and like that idea of just like your purpose, right? You're holding it up. You're part of support. And my rooster, who I think you might be able to see right back there.
Nice. Yes.
That animal has no question on this earth why it is here.
Yeah.
It never for a moment's like, man, maybe I'm not on my path. Like it knows when my dog goes over there, it is ready to attack. It's fought my dog. If
Wow.
I go in the coop, it will come at me full force. It fought a fox.
Wow.
No hesitation.
Protection.
Yeah. So and now
Our
we have
dog,
beautiful
I
little
feel like that
chickies,
is like
which is
that
also
too.
cool.
Our dog is definitely like that too.
Yeah, I think our dog, our fur, baby, he has
Right.
that instinct too. Like it's a protection thing. I'm here to love you all and protect you. Everything else.
And I'm also here to sleep a lot too.
And I'm here to sleep a lot.
And see, I'm so envious of that. How are you guys with that? Are you guys good sleepers? Like the thought of a nap makes me anxious. Like I jealous.
Not a napper.
So
yeah.
And I grew up.
it.
Yeah, I grew up in a house where my dad was like, "Don't wake anyone up that's sleeping," and my mom was like, "It's 4:00. General Hospital's over. It's time for our nap every day." And
That's fantastic.
that was when I was much younger. Then moving into our life now, naps are something I learned to give up, once you have children. And now it's just like, we have a life to live. We're not napping.
Yeah.
I couldn't even think, on especially in this beautiful weather, I couldn't think of possibly missing any of this for a nap. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I know. And there are those people who just look at it the opposite. They're like, what a gorgeous day for a nap. They just want to sit out there and just lay down. And God bless. I wish I
Get
had
me a
that
hammock.
ability.
Yeah,
Get me a hammock. I'll be out
To be honest, Matt, when I bought my first house, I bought a hammock hoping I'd be able to, nap in my backyard under the tree. And like, never. The kids played on it. The kids loved it. I never used it.
Jenny loves it. The kids love it. They use it all the time. I don't think I touched it. It's just, I don't know. I always feel like I could be doing something better, but right. They say that's the problem, right? I mean, I feel that all the time about so many things. And I mean, that's why we're doing what we're doing, right?
That's right. Listening to that. And then well, maybe let me try to lay down and see what happens. I don't know.
But when I'm not napping, I am doing things that I enjoy and that bring me peace and stuff. So like gardening, especially now, that's,
Yeah, I've been seeing that. You guys have been doing a lot of stuff. What's been keeping you busy with all of this insanity? What's been keeping the mind focused?
Nature and the garden for sure.
Yeah. Tending to the garden, like literally and figuratively. Every time we go outdoors and just touch something that's growing or intentionally plant it, I think it's just a part of us, like we feel that in our bodies, our mind, and it just feels really good. And the green growing, it's just, it's sparking something in us for sure. So we're finding our peace outside, and it's a labor, gardening is laborious. An hour at least in the morning, an hour at the end of the day, and in between just chatting with our things that are growing. It's been a lot of time.
What are you growing? What do you have cooking? What do you have planned to be cooking? Or are you also into the beauty of it? Is it floral?
Well, we have some floral for sure, some like wildflowers so that we can have pollinators, you know, so that's around. But we're growing things that we like to eat on an everyday here. So, you know, your tomatoes and cucumbers are, they're great. They make you feel like you have a green thumb, you know, because they grow a lot, and everyday herbs right there to grab rather than go and get a big bunch of scallions at the store that go bad anyway. So
sure.
I'm a big fan of that.
Pick them as you need them.
Garden?
Yeah.
Sorry,
and if you grow chives, they flower. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I don't know if you know, but if you grow chives, they start to flower.
On salads?
Yes. Amazing. On everything.
So it looks beautiful and it tastes great. So yeah. What else are we growing? Eggplant, a little zucchini. There's lettuce growing, which is always nice.
All different kinds of greens. Yep. Sugar snap peas. We got string beans.
Cauliflower and broccoli.
Is it the nurturing for you? Is it the tending? Is it the result? Like what brings you that most happiness from it? Is it the whole journey?
All of it. You know what's funny? I keep seeing, I follow like all these gardening pages and stuff, and I see all these memes all the time about how you spend all this time and money to literally like, you know, get like this much vegetables at the end, you know. So sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not.
The most expensive tomatoes you'll ever buy.
Exactly. But you
know
what?
I mean, it's doing something on a deeper level for you. I mean, that's kind of like, that's the ultimate point, right? It's getting to feel that little bit of connection.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's like Leah said before, it's kind of like our babies. I mean, you go out there and you kind of see like, oh man, there's a flower that wasn't there yesterday. Or like, oh my God, I can't believe how much this has grown since yesterday. The cucumbers now, they're sprouting like their little, I don't know what they're called, but they sprout these things so they can grab onto like the trellis and grow and whatever. And it's, you know, even within like 20 minutes, it's amazing how much it's changed and how much it just, you know, it finds that support and it just starts wrapping itself around. And
the cucumbers blew my mind the first time I watched that happen. Because how can you not deny that there's consciousness there? Like this thing is reaching out clearly to try to grab onto something, and then to see it find something. And when it makes a choice, like occasionally it'll wrap around something that it's like, and, you know, you'll see it like divert. It's just mind blowing.
Brilliant. Yeah. So smart. I honestly think garden is where we learn patience. Well, personally, I'll speak for myself, not anyone else. But, you know, I learned patience, you know, because you could put 20 seeds of something and maybe one sprout will come out, you know, and you can tend to it and then it may not ever flourish. But I think that's the whole idea of even life in general. Like we're living it to experience it. And of course I want the basket of fruit, but I don't necessarily know if I'm doing it for the basket because my squirrels are eating it most likely. So
I've always enjoyed that part of it. I always have left apples every year when we have a bunch of apple trees here. And whenever we pick them, we always leave some because the deer really need them as it starts to turn cold. And you see them and they're coming, I mean, they're climbing up, like going 7-8 feet up to get these things. So I get that feeling of like sort of sharing with the other beings that are there eating this little habitat you're creating.
Exactly.
I've read that you have to plant like a third extra of what you think you're going to need or what you want for the wildlife. So I kind of do that too. But then some stuff we're kind of really protective of too. So Leah had me build cages around stuff. So like even the birds too. The birds they love those berries, blueberries, raspberries. We have a lot of those too. So the birds like to get into those.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing to watch the farmers out here and like how much they have to think about the scale of what they're dealing with, and just like some of the organic farmers, I think about the amount of crop loss that they have to deal with just to be able to grow it in the way that they want to, that is honoring and preserving the earth. But it seems to me that the more time they put into it, after just a couple of years, they actually start to get larger and larger yields, which is inspiring. It's exciting.
I was just going to say that is inspiring.
Definitely learn. It's always a learning experience. You know, there's always something that's going to not work out right. So you have to adjust a little bit, maybe a little more fertilizer, less water, whatever it is. And
I love this conversation.
It's been the year of adjustments, that's for sure. Holy God. And
you know, you talked about like you know, what are you getting out of the gardening? I just think in this stage of my life, like I like to engage in things that I've never done before so I can keep my mind bright, you know.
Yes, I'm feeling that too.
I could close my eyes and I could teach you a vinyasa class like half asleep, and that's not what this life and yoga is about for us anymore. So I spend time learning things outside of the yoga mat so I could bring them into my yoga practice, or I apply my yoga practice into everything I'm doing, but just learning something new.
Back and forth, in and out. Yeah.
Now along
always
with all
that,
our
right? It's that. Go ahead,
now
Manny.
along with all our yoga and meditation books, now we're starting to stack up gardening books too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all
There's a
yoga
lot
though,
to
right? I mean,
learn out
gardening
there.
is one of my greatest meditations. I feel so connected
100%.
when I'm involved in that stewardship of the land. I mean, it's incredibly important. And I think what you're saying, Leah, really is something that I continue to find fascinating, is like this new desire I have that's been rekindled to learn this year, you know, and to like take on these things that I've never really spent a lot of time with. And I don't know if it's because I have children now who I'm also sort of watching as they grow, and their love of learning. My daughter just can't get enough information inside of her little brain, and so
She's so fun.
I'm feeling that I'm back to reading. I'm reading books again. I mean, just one after the other. I made a goal of a book a month. I'm doing like 3, so
Oh, good for you.
it's been
That's
great.
great.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
That's great.
Just shutting off the TV a little bit.
Hey,
and
hi, Jenny.
the long
Hi,
commute.
Jenny. We see you. Yeah, I feel you. I every year it's like on the vision board, like read more, because I really love to read. But like Manny's saying, just like napping, I'm not reading as much because, you know, we're busy, but we're doing good work, busy. So I love books with threads, or just passages that I could sit with, and the commitment isn't as you know, it's attainable when I do it that way. But every once in a while I'll get an audio book where I can, you know, go out and sweat at the same time as listen to it. You know, it's kind of cheating, but
that's
it's still
been key
great.
for me. The audiobooks have been life-changing. So suddenly, instead of like just sort of vacant time or driving in the car for a long distance, because, you know, Jenny and I have been driving like crazy, instead I'm getting in an hour of a book, you know. So
That's so good.
Yeah, it's the good stuff, right? To keeping the learning going. That's the good stuff.
Keeping the learning go. Yeah. What was the last one I downloaded? I think it's like the autobiography of Alicia Keys, because I happen to love her voice and just her her story, and so that was great. And I picked it because I wanted to choose something that was not yoga philosophy related, believe it or not. And I don't know if you've ever read her book or have spent a moment listening to Alicia. She's all yoga. It's all philosophy. It's all about traveling to see the world and history, and how her ancestors like live in this dirt here, visiting Egypt. I mean, it was amazing. So that's the kind of stuff I'm into.
That's fabulous. So what about her? What about her inspires you? What about her story, gets you going?
It's kind of like just power of owning herself. You know, she went through a journey of questioning that and making decisions based on the entertainment industry that was right for entertainment, but she would always stand her ground and and eventually took over the entire, you know, corporation. I don't know what it's called, to be honest, but, you know, and now she's running it her way, and her family has always been
You mean her music label? Her music label? You mean her music label?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And where she has the opportunity to always have her family with her when traveling. And there was just a lot of that. And just, you know, spending her money for sure, living lavishly and receiving gifts and giving gifts, but in a way that was never greedy. I just think that, you know, she gave and gives, continues to grow. And now I believe has a master class,
she does.
episode, which I haven't seen yet, but I just love to see that. Working hard and doing what you love, and like if you have your voice in some way, to use it, whether it's to teach yoga or just to hum and vocal toning or sing a song that's like going to change many lives, you know?
Yeah, whatever you're passionate about. Absolutely. Yeah, you hit something really strong for me there. Family, that she gets to bring her family on the road now, you know? So now she's in a place where she's in a position where she gets to make choice. That's one of those key choices. And it's the one that's just been slammed home for me all year long, is just the value of my family, you know, La Familia es todo. And I really believe that. My mother actually has that above her doorway, leaving out the side. But
Mom,
I've been playing this weird game because you know, I've been thinking about death and so much, and there's this game I played today which was really, really eye-opening for me. And basically it was like, so there was a world I used to be involved in, and basically that's like what's called the prepping world. And there's this thing they say where like you can survive for 3 seconds without your brain, you can survive for 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 hours without shelter, right? There's this game of threes that goes on and on. And so I was sitting there, and I've been just kind of going through the stuff of like, what am I doing with myself? Where do I want to go? Like my whole world keeps changing rapidly, and how do I get to my core stuff? And as I was sitting there, I started to play the game of threes, but I played it kind of backwards. And I said, if I found out I had 3 minutes to live, what would I do? Like, what would be my first action? And since I was sitting alone at the moment, I said, first thing I would do is call my wife, because I would want to tell her how much I love her and how much she means to me. And hopefully I would be able to connect with my kids. Well, what if I had 3 hours to live? Well, if I had 3 hours to live, I'd get in the car and I'd be on my way there because I would want to see them, because that would be all that would matter. And then I played, well, what if I had 3 days? What if I had 3 months? If I had 3 years? And then it just got bigger and bigger. And what was amazing about that is those core truths, like they stayed there and retained no matter how far I got out, which is even like at 30 years, what do I want to do? Which is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like a normal lifespan, right? I'll be in my 70s.
Right.
So,
but the basics
anyway, it's a fun
with...
game to play. If anyone wants to play at home, because Jenny's been watching so much Ram Dass, or listening to so much Ram Dass. He tells you to death's your best friend, right? Your best teacher. So anyway, it was one of those cool little moments of like, what does matter? And Alicia found it, and I just nailed, you know,
for sure.
I feel like we're getting to that. Those core values are starting to come out.
Absolutely. And the way that we're raising our families, I would hope now is just, especially in our community, and who we're reaching out to, is like in a state of awareness of like what the root of your family is, or the root of, you know, your dharma. You said before, like why are we here? And it's definitely to receive and give the love that we are, right? That's all that we are. And of course your family, you know, we chose to spend our lives with our soulmate and create a family if we can, you know. And so yeah, I 3 seconds, certainly that would be my first reach out to. You know. And then I want to go, like, if it was 3 days, let's just all of us get on a boat or a big trailer or something and just see the world together, you know.
There you go. See, and that's it. You're getting, again, it's like that core thing. It's experiences with people you love. That's it. And that's what this is all teaching you. It's just that experience. I think your rooster
agrees. You hear that?
Oh yeah.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
His name is Marie, because we thought Marie was a girl when we got her.
That's right.
So Marie is
a rooster named Marie.
It's
like a boy named Sue.
Yeah, exactly.
A squirrel in a
It's our little Johnny Cash moment, and I figure, you know, in this world, that's beautiful. A chicken named Marie.
He doesn't know the difference.
And he's a fabulous father.
He's a
good dad. That's good.
So are you. I have to say, you're a fabulous father, friend, human being, running an organization that, like, I feel lucky to have been invited to or been introduced to you and your wife many moons ago.
There was a reason why we all crossed paths.
It's certain.
Yeah,
it's certain.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's incredibly kind, and obviously we feel the same way about you. Your 2 boys are 2 inspiring young men, and I hope to raise such wonderful kids myself. And yeah, we feel very blessed that you guys have come upon us, and we've met in this beautiful path. And now Leah's come on in even a bigger way onto the team, and Manny as well as a board member. So it's just been, it's been wonderful, man. It's good, and it's just getting started. You know, I do my best not to be impatient. You know, that's one of my big ones I got to work on. But every now and again, when I take that bird's eye view, you know, you look at 20 years, it's like, well, I could do a lot in 20 years. You know,
look what we have done in 20 years, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the yoga's teaching us, and I think even this team, we call it, it's teaching us that, you know, every day, one day at a time. It could be huge, and it could be very, very small, like the very small, intimate experiences make the biggest impact for all of us, and then it grows, and you know, the mighty united we own. I love it. I'm glad to be a part of it.
We are very glad you are a part of it. It's so good to connect with you guys. I hope we can do it in person again soon.
Yes.
We
miss you guys.
Maybe out on a trail somewhere, you know, walking through the woods. I'm down.
Yeah. You guys going up to your place? You guys getting away for a bit?
Sometimes.
We just did.
Not for Memorial Day weekend. It's a busy life there, but we did just spend 2 days on our own, literally.
Yes, I saw. It's wonderful.
Celebrating our 22nd wedding anniversary, and so we got to go see some falls.
Out in nature, the waterfalls, man. 3-mile hike through the woods and through the mountains. Didn't encounter any other humans.
Not another human, and I love humans, by the way.
That's fabulous.
We were the only ones meant to be there for that one. Yeah.
Oh, it's so special. And that's really where I get my connection. I feel my yoga in nature. It's been my my greatest teacher here. So where did you guys go to? What state park?
It's called the Pennsylvania Environmental Education Center. And they have a few really brilliant trails and just a lot of special treats if you've never been there before, and overlook and waterfalls and the sound of nature deafening. Like there was no space to think about, you know, what time is it? We never even knew what time it didn't matter. Right?
This is still a great time of year for waterfalls. And just, you know, we got to sit and meditate at the foot of the falls. We took our shoes off and put our feet in that freezing cold water.
Freezing cold. It's like,
it just kind of wakes you up, makes you feel really alive, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. So, yeah, you know, experiences. I mean, that's totally what we're into. I mean, love doing stuff like that. And always feel the most connected and at peace there.
Yeah. Meditating
and, you know,
in nature,
in this work, we
special.
discover we all have even more than we need, you know, and so and maybe it's also my age, I don't know, but I'm moving into a stage where I don't really want you to buy me a thing. I want to go somewhere and have an experience, right? I don't even know what that looks like, but just surprise me, because I love surprises too, and let's just go somewhere and experience this new or same thing together again.
I mean, you know, things happen, and you can't take the things with you. You know, that's the real truth. But the experiences last forever. You know, you've got those right there in your back pocket of the brain, just waiting. So.
That's it.
I'll still always be able to feel that exhilaration that I felt standing over the foot of the edge of the falls and just looking down and the mist rushing up, and wow, man, my heart still like starts.
He was taking me where, you know, like this is not really where the trail is. You know, it's like, follow me. Okay, but yes, that edge, that where your heart's beating, and I literally could feel and hear my heart, like, you know, because it was so exhilarating. Not because I was exhausted. The energy was almost like overwhelming, but great.
Man, that's incredible. Well, I hate to say it, but that is a gorgeous note to end on, because we have a UPS man who is pulling down the driveway now.
Okay.
And my dog is going to go absolutely insane for about the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, ours does the same.
But anyway, it's been beautiful to connect with you guys. I'm always so grateful, and we're so blessed to have you in our lives. And thank you for joining us today. All right.
Bye, everyone.
We love you guys.
Much love to you guys.
Bye, everybody.
We love you. Bye-bye.